Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another week. We've had a little break again. It's been nice, Will, having a little bit of time off. There's been some other fights in the fighting world, not just UFC. Just had Risen come back, and we all love a bit of Risen. Horiguchi and Ian McCall, good scrap going down there, Will. Enjoy your time off, bro?
Always, yeah. Just spending it with the baby daughter. Everything's kind of just getting big and bad. She's turning 1 in the next month. So, yeah, just enjoying some of the weather we had today and just looking forward to kind of get back into the fight scene again. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, your Scottish skin tone doesn't take too well to the sunshine, I'd imagine.
Oh, no. Like, if I was spent any more longer out there, I would have been burnt to a crisp. So
I have caught a bit myself. I got out. I spent a couple of hours and that was it. And I was back indoors. You have to break ourselves into this. We're not used to that. We're not used to this. We're like, if it's grey and stormy, we're happy. But if it's sunshine, we've got to be careful. So we are going to talk about UFC 224, which is headlined by Amanda Nunes and Raquel Pennington. Then we'll go through that fight card. We'll go over the kind of advice on bets, Will's bets, and then any questions that we have, we'll be sticking those at the end from you fight fans. So again, ladies and gentlemen, please hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. We keep getting more all the time, so it's always great to see that going up. I've been doing some interviews recently, so you can check those out. I'll be doing more coming up, especially coming to the UFC Liverpool card, because there's quite a few people on there that we know anyway, so we'll be getting familiar faces back on. And hit subscribe on the SoundCloud and iTunes, all that good stuff. It's all out there. And there's other podcast little apps that people have that you can go on to and do it with, but I don't have those ones. But yeah, jump on, subscribe. So let's jump to it, my man. Let's go to UFC 224 down in Brazil, in Rio. Is it Rio they're in? I don't know. They're down in Brazil somewhere. Okay, so we're kicking off in the middleweight division with Marcus Perez against James Bakovic. I'll kick off this fight. I am looking forward to this matchup. Well, to be fair, the middleweight division needs some kind of semi-fresh blood. I have got Marcus Perez in this fight, though, before I even start going through this. I've liked how Marcus Perez performs in previous bouts, watching him fight, but it's all about James Bakovic that I feel that he's going to be an 0-3 fighter in the UFC, possibly. He's, especially his conditioning, like he's got maybe one good round in him, and then especially when he gets taken down, he hasn't, like in his, I don't know, the Trevor Giles fight, especially when you watch that one, I just didn't see enough in him to make me think that he's going to be sticking around for long. And like Marcus Perez, I just think he's got a stronger game. I know he went. Was it 3 rounds with Eric Anders? I believe off the top of my head. It was 3. Yeah, it was Eric Anders. I think he showed more of a skill set, a more well-rounded skill set. He had the takedowns. He's got a bit more. He's a bit more well-rounded than James. I probably am going to go with Marcus Perez. I think he can get a stoppage here on James. It's second or third round. I can see a TKO popping up here, bro. What are you looking for?
Yeah, it's one I've not really looked into all that much. I still remember off the top of my head Bogdanovic's debut, because I heard about him in Dublin. I think Ben Rothwell shouted him out one time, I remember. But he is moving down to 185, so that's something that maybe to take into consideration. That fight wasn't short notice, and he's probably had a full camp for this one. But Perez, to me, just from when I watched him in the Anders fight, I don't think he's overly great in many aspects, but I just think he's tough and he's solid. If it goes to the ground, I think Bogdanovic can maybe control him a little bit. But I like Perez personally. I haven't really all that much. It's one of the ones that I was going to do today, and then the sun was out, so I was like, I'm going to go outside. I'm not going to watch these fights. I'm going to pick Marcus Perez. Like yourself, I think he could get finished, but I think he'll go with a decision. I feel like kind of comfortable decision as well.
Okay, in the welterweight division, we've got Alberto Mina against Ramazan Emeev. Will, take us away with your breakdown, bro.
Interested to see Mina back again, because the simple reason we don't really even see him that much is he's been in the UFC for like 4 years and fought 3 times, so the guy obviously takes a fair amount of time kind of away from the sport. It's been like 2 years since he fought, but the guy's undefeated, so he's somebody that you kind of really got to keep your eye on. But the thing is with that, he comes in, wins the fight, then disappears again, so he needs to kind of build a little bit of consistency, I think, in 2018. Coming off those wins over Anzai, Mike Pyle, I think Akiyama was maybe actually one of them. I remember that fight actually.
Yeah. In Japan, was it?
Yeah, I think so. The guy's obviously very legit on the ground, but he's very dangerous on the feet as well. But he's facing one of those kind of guys from Russia, I think it is, or somewhere out of there, and he looks a really solid prospect. He's just that your quintessential kind of Russian guy who's got unbelievable control. He's got takedowns if he needs them. I think he's fairly competitive on the feet. In that fight with Sam Alvey, he only took him down one time, so that shows you that he can mix it up on the feet as well as on the ground. I think Mina is the more dangerous fighter. I think he can pull out maybe submissions and surprise maybe knockdowns and so on. But I just think Amiv's tenacity, control is going to be enough to kind of win the fight. But I can see it being maybe very close. If he starts slow, Amiv, I think that Mina could maybe nick it. But I'm going to go a split decision win for Ramazan Amiv. I think the takedowns are going to be... I don't think he'll want to play in the ground with Mina. So I can see takedowns and him getting back to his feet and just kind of try and rinse, repeating that. So has to be careful because Mina's dangerous everywhere. But I'm going to go Amiv.
Yeah, I was going to say Mina is dangerous, especially like that flying knee against Mike Pyle. Even though I know Mike Pyle's his chin was on his way out there, but it's the unpredictability that he has. That's something about Mina that you can't really put a price on. And his experience, he used to be in Cage Rage, bro. That's how far Mina goes back. That dude's been going back since 05. Like, he's been around. That man knows a lot of tricks. Amiv, like you said, he did it. I think his best fight, like I say, was against when he fought Sam Alvey, who makes fights awkward. He made it ugly. Like, Amiv made it ugly for Alvey to try and get anything out of it. And it was a smart thing to do. You know, I thought that really worked really well against him. With Mina, I think, yeah, like you say, I think it's going to be quite a lot of cage work. I think Amiv will want to keep him, like you say, you don't want to get him down the ground because he is so dangerous there. But if you can keep him standing on the cage and just grind him on there, I think we'll see a lot of cage work, a lot of grinding down. And I think you might see a decision win for Ramazan. Or we call him Zan, whatever you want to call him, Amiv. I can see a decision win there. I can see him just grinding him out on the cage, just getting those like just horrible, gritty kind of fight. But I could see Amiv getting it, and that's where I'd go with that one, bro. Another fight that we're looking forward to in the middleweight division. Talis Latis, he's down the prelims, a bit of a fall from grace recently, but fighting Jack Hermansson. Latis needs a win here, to be fair. It's not gone well for him of late. I feel like ever since that controversial Bisping loss in Glasgow, it's just not. Things just haven't went well for him. I don't know what it is, but I said we all thought that he won that bout, but with Talis Latis, I think this is a fight he can get the win. I think he'll be able to get Jack Hermansson down, and then just do what he does best and just shine on the ground. Like, Talis Latis, when he gets on top, he's a blanket. He's a horrible guy to battle with. Jack Hermansson will want to try and keep the shots, try and keep long shots, long strikes, like 1-2s, just keep it basic. You don't want to really wrap yourself up with Talis Latis because he'll just go for the inside trip, the outside leg trip, anything to get you down. Like, yeah, Talis Latis just gets those outside trips, gets you down. He's just very smart at it. People don't realise how clever he is at those trips, and his knowledge and wealth of experience is what the killer is here. People don't realise. Talis Latis, people they write him off almost, and I think it's the dumbest thing you can do. I do see him winning this fight. I do. I don't think Jack is a bad fighter at all. I just think there's something about Latis. He's a big lad from 185, strong guy, grappling's just superb. I think he'll just do the smart thing and get that victory, get Jack down. I could see him maybe submitting Jack. To be honest with you, he's a beast on the ground. So yeah, I'm going to go with Talis Latis via sub. Bro, how do you see this fight going?
Pick's going to be Jack Hermansson. I was initially on Talis Latis, and then I went back and watched the fight, and I think that Talis is definitely on that perch of either kind of being mediocre and staying where he is, or just completely diving. And I think he's completely on. He's going to be on that dive down soon. The guy's been around for the longest time. I think Jack's length, Jack's pressure. I think eventually in the middle of the fight, if he doesn't get him out in the first 5 to 7 minutes, I think Jack can take over with his pressure and his pace and his persistence. And I think he'll start to hit Latis, and Latis is going to be jumping into clinch positions. And I think that Jack, he can go hard for 15 minutes. I think he's
Yeah.
just going to outwork him completely if it gets that far. So, and maybe even get a finish with that ground and pound, because he does have some vicious ground and pound if he can catch it. But the pick's going to be Jack Hermansson.
Okay, I like it. Filthy little pick there. Look at that, just coming out of nowhere. That throwing that from the side. Yeah, when you describe it like that, I don't disagree. It's just one of them ones. I suppose it is. If Tallis can get it down, that fight goes into his realm, and you kind of see it going one way. So again, I'm with you. I don't know where this is going to go. Next up is an interesting fight. Wally Alves, who I think he was the last man to beat Colby Covington. Just put out there. So someone we all like. Yep, good thumbs up. Is taking on Sultan Alviv or Alvev. Alviv. It's Alviv, is it? Yeah, I forget now.
I think it's Alviv.
Alviv.
That's it.
We'll call him a Sultan. There you go. So, welterweight bout. Hell of a scrap, to be honest with you. I think Wally's just Wally Alves is that guy. He's just always on that cusp, isn't he? He's just outside of that top echelon in the welterweight division. You know, the tall. He had a little. He goes up. He builds himself up. Then he just gets that one loss. Then a couple of wins and builds. He's that guy who's just always short. Like he's always just there's something he's missing in his game to get himself to that next level. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. It could click in this fight. Who knows? He's got a hell of a fight against Sultan though. Like Sultan's a beast of a guy to fight against, and Sultan beat Bojan last. I think it was in the last fight as well. He's a talented, absolute talent in himself, young kid. But something about going to Brazil that affects fighters. Now Sultan's going. I don't know where he's travelling from. I'm not sure if he's based in Russia. I'm not sure which fight camp he's in. But if he is coming all the way from Russia, that's a hell of a trek. And that's a hell of a toll on the body. And people don't realise it. Like, I've spoken to guys who come from the UK to fight in Brazil. It's horrible. And they're not keen on it. There's something about it. I always give a little bit of home side advantage to the Brazilians if they're... And Wally Alves is another one. I think that he's a tough guy. Solid. Very thick, very, very heavy. I think he's a big guy for the weight class of welterweights. I think he's going to get this one against Sultan. I think he's just going to have that power in his hands, destructive. Like he's not precise with his striking. He's not like Ponzinibbio is a nice, clean striker. I know he's eye poking, but he's got clean striker. Wally's more like a bit semi brawler. He's like a John Lineker almost in a way. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not having a go at it. But I'm going to go with Wally here. There's not a lot between them, but I think with the home advantage and the travel, I think it could take a toll, especially in, say, the third round. I'm going to decision Alves. I'm not saying knockout, because Sultan's a tough SOB. But I'm going to go with Alves here. I think the difference of the travel, etc., can take a toll on someone's body. And I'm going to go with Alves taking the win here.
Yeah. Wally Alves is. I can't really trust him. He can come out and he can blitz you in the first round, like he did with Colby Covington, and then he can either come in and he can gas himself out really, really badly.
Yeah.
And that's something that if he comes out really quick and wants to throw down and he wants to expend a lot of energy, Sultan, I think towards the end of the fight could start making it really interesting.
Yeah.
Initially when I think everybody's pretty much strong on Alves in this position, but I think if it goes into that middle part of the fight, and especially in late, Sultan could definitely come into it, because I think he will be there in those late rounds. Kind of like
I do too, yeah.
Because Varley just completely gasses himself out and is there for the taking. But the one thing I've been looking at this card as well is like these guys who are still fighting out of Brazil. The one thing that I like from the Jacare fight is that he's moved to America, and they're not training as hard as what they do down in Brazil. Like every training sparring session is like a fight, so they're not training smart. So I'm going to pick Alves. I think he could potentially catch Aliyev with a submission. He has got a dangerous guillotine, but he has as well. But he did go 15 minutes hard in Poland last year, so I'm going to pick Alves, but I think that maybe picking Aliyev is not the worst pick in the world either.
No, it's not. I'm only giving it more to Alves because it doesn't sound like a lot, but that travel's brutal on the body.
Yeah.
It's because especially because you're weight cutting as well at the same time. It's not a great thing. Change your body clock, cut weight. It's a lot of factors, and I think that then does play a little home field advantage. I think there's little benefactors outside of the cage that do come into play, especially in the fight. Next up, we have an absolutely fascinating welterweight fight, because we had a man who was meant to come and fight Jack Marshman. Didn't happen. But the man himself, Dos Santos, not get out of here asking me to say his full name. All right, just Elizuzowski Dos Santos against Sean Strickland. Welterweight matchup. What do you see happening, bro?
Good fight. It's actually one of the best fights I think on the card.
I do, yeah.
Absolutely. I think Strickland's a really good fighter. I think he's got a legit record, and the guys that he's lost to are guys that if you look in the welterweight, the top 7-8 fighters in that division, he's lost to 2 guys in there. So he's not lost to bad guys, and he's beat decent guys. Tom Breeze, Alex Garcia. I think they're all really, really good fighters.
Yeah.
Really solid jab, really elite jab. I think he's got a really fine looking jab, and he's really hard to take down. So, you know what Zaleski Santos is going to do? He's going to come out there and he's going to throw down, because that's what he likes to do. He likes to brawl. He did that in the Max Griffin fight. He did that in the Lyman Good fight, where he pretty much broke Lyman Good in that fight. He was sitting in his corner saying, "I don't want to get knocked out." So that shows that the guy throws with heavy heat, heavy intentions. I see it being really close. I can see Strickland having positive parts of this fight where he looks good. Again, in Brazil, you've got to think they're going to start favouring Brazilian fighters if it goes to the judges' scorecard, especially those fights. I'm going to go a split decision win for Zaleski Dos Santos. I really like him as a fighter.
Nice.
I really do like him as a fighter. I think he's got. I still think he's got a lot of improving to do. I think he could be a little bit more technical, maybe not brawl as much, and maybe not have a wee bit more patience. If he had that and picked his shots a little better, then I think he could be a better fighter. But he is who he is. He's not going to change. He's gotten to where he is now. So I'm going to go with Zaleski Dos Santos with a very close 29-28 decision.
I love it. Love it. I agree. Dos Santos is a talented fighter, but I'm hitting Strickland here. I write this guy off too many times. I do. I'm terrible for it. I just always think, I go, nah, it's not going to do it. Because his style isn't pretty, but it's goddamn effective. Like, he is very good, like you say, that jab, keeping you away, because he's a long welterweight, and he knows how to get away. Like, the footwork, he can back off, and I think that's going to be a huge part of this fight. I think Dos Santos is going to be hitting a fair bit of thin air here. He's going to be just a bit late to the punches. Strickland's just going to be out of the way. He's just going to be peppering with the long, like the straights and the front kicks and the peak teeps, because like Strickland's been training with Gastelum as well, and I think that is actually kind of ideal, because Gastelum's style is similar to Dos Santos. Like, he's a far cleaner version, Kelvin's now, especially with Rafael Cordeiro. But I just feel that having someone like Kelvin Gastelum, who is like a bit of a gritty, like he can be gritty, he can be super offensive, I think that will play to Sean Strickland's favour in this training camp. I just see Strickland getting a decision. Dos Santos, tough as nails. I think he's a tough kid. I don't see him getting knocked out, but I don't see him winning the fight. I just think Strickland's style will just kind of nullify what Dos Santos wants to do. It's one of those bad fights that Dos Santos gets where he can't shine, and Strickland can just do what he needs to get the win. You know, it's not a fight that Strickland can shine in either, because he can't stay there because of what's there. You know, it's just not worth the risk. You know, the risk reward, it's jab, get out. You know, just beat him down. I can see that. I can see the crowd booing because of it as well, because Strickland will just be out of the way quick. But they get you a W, and I think Strickland's kind of starting to maybe come into his own. Like I say, he's a guy I've underrated for too long. Next up in the lightweight division, though, man, Davi Ramos against Nick Hein. Yeah, I said Nick Hein, the guy who hardly fights. Right? He had a little burst in the UFC, and then he stopped. Then he does films, he does all sorts of things, doesn't he? In Germany, he's like a celebrity, let's say. He's not just an MMA fighter, but at the same time, I feel like he's just not in the game enough, and I think the game passes you by, and at home in the UK, at home in Germany, like Europe, let's say, I think Nick Heim's in a bit of a comfortable position, but he's going down to Brazil against a guy who I think is just way better in all aspects in Davi Ramos. I think Ramos is just an all-round better fighter than Nick Hein. Nick Hein's not getting any younger. Nick Hein reminds me of like Sean Shirk, little short, stouty, muscular thing that he's got good endurance for it, like the muscle mass that Nick Hein's got, but I don't see enough from Nick Hein anyway, and I don't think there's going to be enough anything different from Nick Hein when we see him fight. I think it's going to be pretty much the same Nick Hein we've always known, and I just think Ramos has just got way more in his arsenal than Nick Hein has, and Ramos, I think he's a monster in this matchup. I think he's probably. I haven't seen any odds for it myself, sorry, but I can imagine Ramos being a pretty heavy favourite, and I see him potentially. Nick Hein's tough, so can I see him getting stopped? He could very well get stopped. I'm probably going to go over late stoppage Ramos, but yeah, I'm going to go Ramos here. I can't see Hein getting this.
Yeah, like Hein, there's nothing really special about him. He kind of comes from that judo background, and but he's a solid fighter, and like you really don't. You've got to do something pretty special to take this guy out, and he's only lost the UFC to James Vick, so he's lost to a top 15 guy in the division. But I do think he is facing a guy here who kind of outmatches him in a lot of areas, and I think in the end that's going to really tell. In that fight, Davi Ramos against Grutzmacher, I didn't think he was going to stop that fight, and I think I had I think it was by KO or sub. I had
third round, wasn't it?
Something like that, and I didn't think he was going to cash, and I was pissed because I thought it was a lock, but he managed to get the rear naked choke eventually. Like I say, I just think that he's 34 years old. I think he's maybe old in fight years because he has been around a while, but he has been out a while as well. So 34, Ramos is 31. When it goes to the ground, if it gets to the ground, clear advantage for Davi Ramos. But like I say, Nick Hein is a really solid fighter. He's like people throw around like jobber and this and that and this and that. I don't think he is. I just think he's tough.
Wow. He's tough as nails, yeah.
Yeah, he's just a tough, solid fighter who I think has got a pretty well-rounded skill set, but just nothing pops out regarding the game. So I'm going to go Davi Ramos. I'd like to see a finish, but I think a decision might be more of an order because I don't see him. Like I say, he's got a judo background. But if he does get him down, could easily submit him. But I just think that he's going to outpoint him, outpunch him, just outmaneuver the guy the whole entire fight and win 30-27. I think it's going to be pretty convincing as well.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. We've got a heavyweight matchup. Okay, Oleksiy Oleinik against Junior Albini. Interesting heavyweight matchup, to be fair. These guys are kind of like, you're outside the rankings, not nowhere near the contendership. But how do you see this going down, bro?
Interesting. I really like watching Oleinik fight because you don't know what the guy's going to do. Like we all know the guy just throws kind of overhand rights, not very good. But he's got one of those if I was a fighter facing a guy like him, I would fear just like getting in awkward positions with him because he seems to thrive in those positions where you think you might have a chance of getting out, but he's caught you in a submission and you're already tapping out. Like the guy's got some serious submissions, like scarf holds and key locks.
Everything. He's got all of that. And he's got really long arms.
Ezekiel chokes, you name it. He has got serious submissions that he can catch you with, and he's a scary guy in that aspect. But if you can keep it standing, then Albini's going to run over Oleinik in this fight because he is the more technical striker. I didn't like what I seen out from his last fight against. Who was he against? Sorry, I forgot.
Tybura, no?
It might have been Orlovsky.
Orlovsky. Yeah. Somehow he lost that. Yeah.
If he would have threw with any intention, or he threw more, had more output, he would have beat Andrei Orlovsky, and Orlovsky just beat him to the punch. And
he was tentative, wasn't he? Very tentative. It was weird. I feel he was a bit shocked, like starstruck. Like oh my god, I'm fighting Andrei Orlovsky. Like, I'd be like that. I'd be like, holy shit. Of course, I'd be thinking, like, put my hands up. But I think there was a bit of that came in. Like, he might not admit to it, but it's got to be. It looked like it.
when you're fighting Andrei Arlovsky in 2017, it's his name you're fighting. You're not really fighting the fighter, because
No.
Arlovsky is not the fighter that he once was years and years and years ago. And he had a good run when he came back to the UFC, but if he was to have any output and threw a little bit more, I think he could have won that fight. Whether he knocked him out, whether he won the decision, I think he could have beat him. Beat Timothy Johnson, which was, I think, a big fight for him in his debut, obviously. But he has to show what he's all about here. Stop the takedown, he wins the fight, in my opinion. Just don't get caught in the clinch, because someone like Olenek could throw in a submission and drop to his back in before you know you're tapping out again. But it's interesting, because I do like watching Olenek fights, even though he's on the feet, but it's just, you don't know what you're going to get if you get into certain situations. So I think Albini could start to piece him up in the middle part of this fight. He just needs to go with more output. He's fighting at home. He's going to have the crowd back. I think that's going to help him here. So I'm going to go Junior Albini via TKO in round number 2.
Ooh, I like it. Okay. It is one of them ones where you think all he has to do is get on the cage, and then the world can change like that. I think Albini can get up against the cage, get caught up against there. Can he get taken down? That's a big thing. Like, Albini's got big, round thighs. Let's put it that way. They stand out. They're prominent in those shorts he shows. You know, he could lose a bit more body fat, I feel, a bit more strength and condition. That dude would be a gnarly guy to fight. You know, with just a little bit more. Just if he just talked up a little bit more. But I'm to and fro on this one as well, because if he doesn't go to the ground, I just don't see how it goes. Like how Albini loses. He physically should not lose that striking battle at all. There's nothing that's going to get thrown at him that he won't. He'll be telegraphed. You know, it's no super clean striking that comes from Lineker. But I wrote Lineker off too much as well. He's like Strickland. I sit there and go, he's easy. Look at him. He can't strike. He's got no footwork. Come on, you should tune him up. And people get submitted by him all the time, and I'm thinking, gee, I'm gonna go with Lineker. What a crazy first round submission. He's just so freakishly, weirdly good at catching heavyweights in submissions. And what freaks me out is they're heavyweights. They're strong as an ox. They're massive, and he just crushes them with ease. And you think that dude's got some freak strength, like grappling, like Dan Henderson, grab you, pin you down strength, like you're not going anywhere. Brock Lesnar power, you know. I just feel like that's what he's got. I'm gonna go wild first round submission. I don't know what it is, but I've got to go for an outsider here, and I think that's something that's going to pop up. Next up in the middleweight division, a guy who I feel a bit gutted about, because he looked like he had so much potential, and he's now one of them guys where you're just like you're just always shy. But Cesar Ferreira against Carl Robinson, like Ferreira's seen as, he was deemed as the next Vitor Belfort, that's the protege, so to speak, and he just kept falling short. You know, a couple of nice performances. He looks the part. He looks shredded. You know, he looks like Vitor Belfort but natural, because he hasn't failed any test, let's say. But I got a big question mark over him. Like, one of the things was his chin. You know, I was dubious on his chin, and I still am now. I think Carl Robinson's got a hard fight, though. To be fair, it's a tough fight for Carl to get with Ferreira, but you got to step up. You got to step up in this fight game if you get the opportunities. I don't think we got to see enough from Carl in his fight against Darren Stewart, wasn't it? You see, because he did the smart thing. He did what Eric Spicely's going to want to aim to do in Liverpool: grab him, get him down, submit him, and that's it. That's the game plan. Don't want to stand up, and that's what Carl's going to want to do here. I think he's going to go and try and get Ferreira down, stop Ferreira from standing. Because Ferreira, even though he's not got the best chin, he does throw some almighty powerful strikes. Like, that dude can hit. Like, he's quick, throws explosive movement strikes. I can see this being again a fight where Robinson's wanting to get him down. A lot of cage work, unhooked battles. I think he can get Ferreira down, absolutely. I think Ferreira can also get back up. Maybe not using technique, more using just physical strength to get up, which would come to bite him on the ass in the latter rounds. If he gets to the third round, if Carl can get him down again, I think that's when Ferreira will start to just fade out, just start to tire out and gas. I'm going to go with Ferreira. No, I'm not. I'm going to go Robertson. Yeah, I'm going to go Robertson. Going to go crazy. Robertson submission, 3rd round. Go on, what are you going for, bro? I'm going crazy with these predictions.
I like Cesar Ferreira. Actually, I think this is I don't know whether it's a big step up for Robertson because
It's a step up. I feel it's definitely a step up.
He's like 6-0 in his career, so
Yeah.
he's fighting a guy who's got 18 fights, plus he had another 3 or 4 on the tough show in Brazil. This guy's been around for a long time. He was like you said, he was touted as the next Vitor Belfort when he came to the UFC, and I think these are the type of fighters he looks good against when he makes that step up from like CB Dollaway. I don't really think that's much of a step up, but CB at the time back in 2014
was on a good run. CB, let's be honest.
I've seen this guy. The guy is massive. I seen him in Vegas when he fought Masvidal, and I thought, how is that guy making 170? Because he's so wide. But obviously that dispersed his chin, and
big time.
Masvidal absolutely took that chin off him. Since then, and Alvey before that as well. Since then, he's did well to protect his chin, not take clean strikes, fight smart, use his massive length that he's got. He does throw with a lot of heavy intention. With his strikes, big leg kicks, big high kicks.
Yes.
And that's what I think he's going to want to do here. But he is facing a kickboxer. So he may kind of lose those initial fights on the feet, and he might get himself in a little bit of trouble. The one thing I like from Robertson his last fight against Darren Stewart was he showed a ground game, something that we haven't seen that much of even back in before he came into the Dana White show and so on. I thought Darren Stewart fought a little bit silly in that fight personally. Against the kickboxer, he was throwing like spinning attacks and not setting them up, and that was just doing nothing against a guy like Carl Robertson. And eventually he was made to pay when he got taken down and submitted. I just think that Ferreira, he's a veteran, he's been around, he's fought these type of guys before, with kickboxing backgrounds like Thiago Santos, he beat him back in the day. So as long as he doesn't get caught, I think he makes it dirty. I think obviously if the fight's close, a little bit's going to be in his favour. It's in Brazil. So it seems that way, which is not, recently it's not really went that, because you're in Brazil, you're going to win a fight if you're Brazilian. But I do think it's an aspect that it's interesting for this fight. I like Ferreira. I think he's decent in the ground. He's really strong in the ground. So I like him to win over a decision.
Nice, like it. Yeah, it is a fight. I'm still. There's a couple of fights here where you wouldn't put your house on it. They're a bit. They can go either way. A fight that I'm definitely going one way with is middleweight bout Vitor Belfort, Lyoto Machida. I'm going Lyoto all day long, like all day long. But what's your breakdown on it, bro?
Yeah, it's like this fight's weird because both guys are really at the tail end of their careers. You think, but Vitor is far past that. He's a guy. I'm still surprised the UFC are still letting him fight.
I can't believe it.
I thought when he fought in Manchester against Mousasi, that was the last we're going to see of him. And since then, he's fought a couple of times.
They let him get smashed.
And then,
they are milking that cow. Like they are squeezing every drop out of Vitor's name.
They're putting him in the right place. They're putting him in Brazil, and he will sell tickets down in there every time they put him in a card. So I can see why they're doing it. I just don't think they should. This is what they're saying is going to be his last fight here. I think it will be. I think we'll see him fight in Japan later on this year. I think Ridden have one in December.
They do. Yeah.
For this guy, he'll be back
to the gills. What?
He'll be back on the juice.
I don't care. Do it.
He'll be head kicking people left, right, and center. So, Machida coming off a massive win over Eric Anders. I didn't take much away from that fight for the simple fact that I didn't think Anders. I think he was like a deer caught in headlights a little bit. He knew how Machida was going to fight. He just didn't adjust it that well.
No.
And lost the decision in a fight he could have very
fight IQ.
Yeah. Belfort's going to have to pressure Machida to win this fight. If Machida just fights the way he is, he will counter Vitor Belfort as long as he doesn't get caught. So that's the thing, because Belfort, you're born with that type of power, and he's still got it. I think if he cuts you with the right shot, I think that Machida can just sidestep Belfort, anything he has for him, and catch him with a shot and put him down. It's either going to be an early finish for either guy, or it's going to be a horrible 3-round decision where Machida just fights from the outside, pot shots with body kicks, and just hurts him from the outside. But I like Machida to maybe stop him in this one, so I'm going to go Machida via a counter left hook or something to take out Belfort.
I'm with you. I don't see it going anyway other than Lyoto. I don't think Vitor's got the skill set now. Like, the skill set that he was so dominant with is not a 40-year-old body style. Or whatever, at 38, 39. It doesn't... His body can't do what he wants it to do to win. Like, if he was 10 years younger, happy days, he could do what he needs to. His body can't do it, and it doesn't suit. He can't adjust either. That chin is way gone. Lyoto, he doesn't hit soft at Lyoto, and like you say, he's a sniper. That dude, Lyoto's got the timing still. I don't think Vitor's going to hit him hard enough to really put Lyoto to sleep. I do see that Lyoto's just he's going to have a field day with this. Field day with Vitor. I think we want to see Vitor get lit up again, and we're just going to be like, why is he bothering? Just get on the juice, go to Risen, and we'll be all happy then. Or even fight on Bellator, jacked to the gills. I don't care. Either way, just get on the juice and just go fight somewhere else, but not in the UFC. You're just a brand that the UFC are letting you get destroyed just to make money out of you. I don't see any other way, really, mate. I just see Lyoto first round, even. I'll brutally honest, first round finish, easy. Next up, potential fight of the night violence. It will be violence. Potential fight of the night, let's put it that way. Bantamweight division. John Lineker against Brian Kelleher. God damn it, this is going to be a good fight. Both dudes just want to bang. They just want to smash each other in the face. I love it. I love the fact that this matchup's been made. I love Brian Kelleher as well. That dude is so game, so happy to fight, and he is just one of those guys that he's a nice guy to talk. Like, when you see him on social media as well, he's super happy, super interactive. He's just wanting to please, like, he's a fan favorite, so to speak. He's just, what you want to get with him. John Lineker, I love the guy's style of fighting. Even though he cheats like hell at flyweight, going, I'm a flyweight while eating a chocolate bomb. I wasn't, he blagged his way as much as he could in flyweight. Now that he's in a bantamweight division, I love the way the dude fights. He's just bite down, step forward, let's just do it. I do see this, though, going Lineker's way. And I think it's experience is what's going to do it. I think Lineker's a bit smarter. Even though it looks like he's brawling, he's a smarter fighter. The striking that he's got, the body shots and the head shots, those body shots that Lineker does is a game changer. Body shots are so underrated. Kelleher's a beast as well, but I just think Lineker's got a little bit of an edge on this. I'm going just with Lineker, only because of that experience and knowledge base that he's got. I think he can get this win here. I'd even go as wild as saying decision, because a pair of them are just going to knock 20 years off each other. But I'm going to go decision Lineker, but it's going to be a great fight, bro.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people really, really favouring Kelleher actually in the matchup, and I'm not those people, because I think at 135, Lineker is one of the toughest guys to fight in that division. I thought TJ Dillashaw fought him absolutely perfectly, engaged in the feet, but when he had the opportunity, timed his takedowns absolutely perfect and took him right out of his game plan. I don't think Brian Kelleher has that kind of game plan where he's going to do that. I think he's going to try and work from the outside, like many people do against John Lineker, and eventually they get taken into a brawl. And there's only one guy that's going to win fights like that. I don't care who it is. If you engage in a brawl like the Cisco Rivera fight's a prime example. Yeah. If you stand there with this guy, you're not going to put him down. He's going to hurt you before you hurt him. So I do think Kelleher's a decent fight. I think he's getting a lot of hype because he beat Henan Barrow. And to be fair, I thought he looked I thought he looked great before that fight. I thought his weight cut went well. I thought he looked great on the weight cut, and I thought he did. I did think he fought a really good fight. In all honesty, he still took shots. He took a lot of leg kicks, took a lot of shots to the dome. But if you gave that guy an extra 20, 30 seconds, he was finishing Henning Brown in that fight, I think, without a doubt. So, called out John Lineker. He's got him. He's got him in Brazil. So the guy, he's got the fight he wanted. I just think John Lineker's a bad style match for a lot of guys in that division, and I'm going to pick John Lineker. I think Kelleher initially will want to come out and maybe feel the waters a little bit. I think once he gets hit with that power and he realises what Lineker's packing, I don't think he'll want to really go toe to toe with this guy, and he'll try and fight smart and fight from the outside, which I think you have to do. But Lineker will cut off angles and win rounds through that. So eventually, actually, I think Lineker will catch him. I think in the third round he could catch him. So I'm going to go a third round TKO for John Lineker. The guy I love watching fight, and even like back in Manchester, the guy's tiny.
Tiny, isn't he? Crazy how small he was.
Punches. I remember listening. I think I was quite close to the cage for that fight, and he thuds when he hits. You hear it. It's like a weird sound for such a small. So.
Because the crowd was quiet though when he was just teeing off, and the crowd was quiet, and you could just hear the noise, and you're like, what is that? And you're like, that's leathered his skin. It's like, holy, because we, like you say, I met him as well before the fight. Said that dude is a midget. He's a midget, and he's like, woo, that dude is deadly. Oh man, but again, I think it's like there's certain style of beats John Lineker, and it's the TJ, the Cody, the Dominic Cruz, that kind of footwork masters, like those guys who just nail a footwork. You beat him if you're that. If you're not, you better be a damn good wrestler and get that boy down. Like a Cody Stanman would be one, I think, that would beat John Lineker, because he would get him down and keep him down. But that's they got two styles: quality of his footwork or a solid wrestling. You got two choices to beat him. Other than that, fuck, standing toe to toe with him. Next up, we have women's strawweight. Pushing Mackenzie Dern, I get it, but I'm not that overly keen on this. They've done it before. They've forced flat in the face. Mackenzie Dern, Amanda Cooper. What's your views on this, bro, on this matchup?
They're doing exactly. I think this is actually the right matchup to give Mackenzie Dern. I'm surprised she's fighting so soon.
Yeah,
she's me too. Back in March, so
lot of flaws in her game. I thought she needs a bit of time to sort now, but
I think she's always going to be a work in progress. And I think they've got to match her up properly. This the fight. I think it's the right fight to make. Honestly, when I was looking at people who she could fight, Amanda Cooper was one that I never saw. But when they made the matchup, I'm like, that's a good matchup. I think on the feet, I think she has some aspects of her game that if she was to really round out, she could be really, really good. I think she has power. I do think she has defensive failures on the feet, which she's going to have because she's a ground girl anyway. And someone like Amanda Cooper could really exploit that, because she comes from a boxing background. So obviously, we all know what Amanda Cooper's game plan here is going to be: try and outstrike her and just be backed up against the fence. Because that's what happened in the Yoda fight. She backed Yoda up, and when she got her, eventually she got the takedown. And if that fight kept on going, she was going to catch a submission. I don't think Cooper's takedown defense is all that great. I think Yoda's probably got better takedown defense than what she has. And I think all it takes is one time to go to the ground with this girl. And she's light years ahead of anybody in that division when it goes to the ground. It doesn't matter if she's flawed in other areas. If it goes to the ground, she knows what she's doing better than anybody else. To be fair to Amanda Bobby Cooper, she absolutely smashed Angela Magana, but that's to be expected. And she did the majority of that with her being in top position. But there's clear ways for both girls, to win the fight. I just think that eventually Mackenzie Dern's going to find a way to get this to the ground, and she's going to submit her. So I'm going to go Mackenzie Dern. It's an interesting thing as well. The MMA lab didn't want her back.
No, it's not that they didn't want her back. He just said that it's not working for her because she's travelling back and forth, and she's not getting enough time there. And I get that. The Crouch was saying that basically you need to be here for like extended time for you to see the benefits. You can't come here for like 2 weeks and go awesome, and then go somewhere else, do something. Because the thing is, what they're doing there for 2 weeks, they're not doing elsewhere.
Yeah.
They're not doing the same. What's it called? Syllabus. So like Crouch will have a syllabus for her where she'll do something like, for example, like even for me when I'm doing like striking combinations, like you'll have a combination. Your first 2 weeks will just be like jab, jab, right, straight. So jab, jab, right, straight. But then you evolve it. You go jab, jab, right, straight with the footwork. Maybe you know there's little bits you start to tweak because you perfect the little bits and then you start to add to it. And I can totally see why I said that. Like when I looked at the headlines, it's clickbait. They're like, oh yeah, she's left there, and you're like, oh, wonder why she's left. Well, she didn't leave.
Yeah.
It's just a logical reason why she went, and it made a lot of sense because she's based now in one place, and she can go to the same gym over and over again. It will benefit her more that way. Like if she really wanted to, I'm not being funny, she should just move straight out to the lab, like move to there where she'd be based. But she didn't. She basically wants to be in somewhere where she can get a bit of the spotlight, if that makes sense, like the TV stuff and all that jazz. And well, that's fine. And if that's what you want, that's where you're going to be then, in LA or wherever it is, and do all that. Crack on.
Yeah.
Now, in the fight, though, Amanda Cooper, I kind of want Amanda to win. Not going to lie. I'm just going to put it out there. Only because this whole hype train bugs me. It's not that I don't like Mackenzie Dern. It just bugs me the UFC just will do it to these certain fighters. And I hate the way they do it. It gripes me a little bit. Amanda Cooper, she only has to land a couple of straight shots. And I think Mackenzie Dern is going to be like, oh, damn. I need to get this to the ground. And I can see that happening. Like I say, I just see Mackenzie Dern charging at Amanda Cooper. All Amanda needs, if Amanda, all she had to do and drill was getting underhooks, turn Mackenzie Dern up against the cage and break and get off. And that's all she had to do. All she has to drill. Now, Mackenzie Dern didn't look the strongest. She looked a little bit loose in areas. So I don't see her being like overly strong. Like Bobby Cooper's in good shape. That girl's in good condition. I'm going to go with Amanda Cooper only because I would like to see her get that win and just to bring that hype train down, and only more for Mackenzie Dern's benefit because when that hype train's gone, you can go and actually focus and do stuff, and UFC won't pester you and hound you and push you and make you fight 12 times in 2 months, crazy stuff like that. Because the thing is, they're letting Mackenzie Dern fight often. She's not getting time to develop. That's the problem I have with it. So next up we have is the co-main event. Whew, hell of a fight. Jacare against Kelvin. Dang, son, this is a good fight. Man, I've been a bit hum and harm with this one because it's not that easy to get who's going to win. Because like you saw, Jacare, he beat Brunson, which is fair enough. Good win. And I was on Brunson myself. I thought Brunson's coming too. He's starting to get things clicking. And then suddenly Jacare was like, nope, I'm back again, guys. Probably back in the title contention. Like, oh, you're having a laugh. The dude he's not got bad hands. Like he's a guy who can actually throw his hands and actually hurt people. The dude's had it for a while. He's slowly crisper, and he is not bad. Now, don't get me wrong, Kelvin Gastelum is a beast on the feet. I don't count the Michael Bisping win at all. In fact, I kind of cancel that fight off because I don't see any point in acknowledging that fight because it's a horrendous decision that they let Bisping fight. But like we know, it's only because of visa issues that Bisping was the one who stepped in to fight that fight. Anyway, before that, Chris Weidman stopped Kelvin Gastelum. Now, I know about the Vitor Belfort thing. Vitor Belfort was never going to beat Kelvin Gastelum, but anyway. And he beat Tim Kennedy as well, Kelvin. I think Kelvin's going to come up short against Jacare. I think Kelvin's got a bar in the middleweight division where he can get to. He can kick ass, probably top 5 down, like top 5 to top 15. Kelvin could probably hold his own and do pretty well. But I think when he starts to get that top 5 echelon, those gangsters, those beasts, size comes into it. It's a big factor. And I think those guys are just a bit out there. Kelvin needs to get a grip of himself, eat salad, and get down to 170. Like, this is when, obviously, more weight classes would be beneficial. But if he could bother to get himself to 170, that's where he would be ideal. That's where Kelvin's world would be, is 170. But I just think he's always got... I think Jacare's going to pip this one. 3-round fight. If it goes to the ground, Kelvin, I feel sorry for your son if this goes to the ground. Woo-wee. No one wants to go to the ground with Jacare. So I'm going Jacare decision or late submission decision. Yeah, one of them.
I'm a big fan of Kelvin Gastelum actually as a fight. I think he's got a lot of potential. I thought that even I don't many people saw that coming on Tough when he did it on there. But once again, UFC, I thought this guy's got a lot of really raw potential.
Yeah, he does.
That if he could mold that into something special, he's going to be a championship fighter.
Yeah.
And I still think he has that, but he's a fat welterweight who he's got no discipline.
Johnny Hendricks.
Yeah, he's got no discipline to make 170. If he had a bit of discipline, I think he's easily, I think, one of the top 3-4 fighters in that division down at 170. There's actually a video, if you go to MMA Junkie, from 2 years ago, and he says he can't beat the top guys at middleweight. And he mentioned Chris Weidman. He's already lost to Chris Weidman. Luke Rockhold, he's not fought him. Jacare Souza was the other guy. I think he has to fight the absolute perfect game plan to beat Jacare. And just looking at my Tapology thing here, I've never picked a Jacare Souza fight wrong. So even when he loses, I manage to pick the winners. I've got a good spot on how the fights usually go. With Jacare, the Brunson one was another one I thought. Brunson's obviously made a lot of improvements since the first time they fought, but he virtually stopped him the same way he did the first fight. So
yeah, crazy.
Love the fact that Jacare's put himself in Florida, away from Brazil. He's getting his training partners in that he wants to fight smart with, train smart with. I just think that Kelvin Gastelum, he will beat a lot of middleweights, but Marquardt, Kennedy, and Bisping. Bisping will be a good win his record regardless because he's a champion. But he was coming back after a month getting beat up by GSP.
Not a month, it was 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. There we go. So I just think Jacare's got a lot of tools. He has been caught in the past. Robert Whittaker caught him with some really nice striking, and I do think that Gastelum has some good hands when he puts them together.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Combinations and stuff. But that's what I think he has to do in this one. He has to catch one of those shots early. If he doesn't, I just think that Jacare is kind of going to overpower him, and I think eventually this is going to get to the mat. I think Jacare is going to find a way to get it down there, and it's like Mackenzie Dern. If you get the person down there,
levels.
Yeah, your levels, like you said. So
yeah,
I'm actually going to go Jacare be a sub in the round number 2.
Yeah, I can see it later on when it comes a little bit more tired, a little bit not as fresh, not as much zest in him. Main event time, bro. Okay, Amanda Nunes back in against Raquel Pennington. I can only see one winner, but how do you see this fight going, bro?
I think a lot of people are underestimating Raquel Pennington. I think I've been one of those people in the past that's done it as well, to be honest with you. In the Misha Tate fight, sitting here, probably I kind of really underestimated. I never really gave her much a chance, which is silly because I should know better because I've been a fan for a long time. You should never write anybody off. I did so, and it came back and bit me in the arse, but it is what it is. But I think she's stepping up to the top girl in the division. I think the hardest fight that Nunes could have is Shevchenko, and she's beat her twice. So even though I thought the second fight was really, really close, like literally there's nothing between them.
Yeah.
I don't think Pennington is as well rounded as what a Shevchenko is.
No.
I think she's got a decent game. I think these two could probably have a little bit of a bash on the feet. I think that's what maybe Raquel Pennington will want. But the one thing I took from the Shevchenko fight is that Nunes fought really hard in the late rounds. So she's getting that championship rounds in, and she's fighting hard and winning rounds. That was a big thing for me because people always used to talk about a gas tank.
Yeah.
And Raquel Pennington, I think, had a really bad injury as well. So
surgery, she had surgery and everything. Yeah, she hasn't fought for 2 years, isn't it?
Yeah, so she's been out a long time herself. I just think Nunes has got a lot. I think she's just more well-rounded. I think her technique is far better than what Pennington's is. But I wouldn't count out Pennington completely. I think the line, the bets, the betting odds were a little bit off. But the smart money really has to go on Amanda Nunes, I think, in this matchup. I think the offer. I think she'll stop her. I think she'll stop her in the round.
It was one of them ones. I think Raquel was the only one they could have put her up against as well, because she was on a 3-fight win streak. All the other girls were kind of one win or just lost. It was an awkward kind of top 5 was a bit funky at the time for her. So Raquel was the one that they were going to give it to, but then obviously Raquel was recovered from the surgery, etc. But I'm like you. I think Amanda's just. I think Raquel's going to realise that there's levels with power, and that's something I think when she gets hit, like Raquel's a gritty girl. She gets close, dirty little fighter, gets in tight and just makes everything gritty. Like those long straights that Amanda throws, they're going to really wreck Raquel's game. Like Raquel is not like her girlfriend Tisha Torres. Like they're like polar opposite fighters. Like their styles are way different. Ideally you want to be like Tisha Torres when you fight Raquel, when you fight Amanda Nunes. You know, that kind of zip in, zip out, the nice using the kicks. That's the style you want, like the kind of Holly Holm. You know, that's that kind of thing. That would be ideal. But Raquel Pennington, I think this is a styles match up badly, and I think Raquel's style matches up badly for her. I think she's not going to get what she needs. She won't get the takedowns on Amanda. I don't think she's going to be strong enough. I think Amanda's, you know, we all know she's a big 135er. I think she's going to have too much power, and I think that power is going to really wreck Raquel's day. I think Raquel's tough, though, so I could see her getting to maybe the second round, but I can see a TKO maybe second round, not even, like, if it's not the first, second round. I just think Amanda's stronger, bigger, just a technique, like, she's at a camp that's full, absolutely full to the brim with talent. At ATT, so I just see, Amanda. I think Amanda's going to defend it again. I just don't see anyone beating her. I don't see, Raquel beating her in that one. That's UFC 224 in the bag. Let's go to Will's bets. Okay, Will. I haven't even looked to see if there's any odds out yet. How terrible is that?
Yeah, all the odds are out. All the odds have been out for about 2 weeks now, so we got them out really early.
Bloody hell, I wish I knew that. I should have checked earlier. Do you know what? Because we've had time off.
Yeah, just never looked.
I'll be like, well, whatever. Won't even look. You know, betting odds. Here we go. Let's see. So go on then. What are your tips and hints then to this fight card and what you see and what you think?
I have one bet, and that's Jack Hermansson. I can't remember what the odds were, but I think I got them at a fairly decent price. The other ones I like is Jacare Souza. I'm pretty high in Jacare in this fight, even though I think it could be dangerous in some aspects. I like him to win that fight. Apart from that, there's not an awful lot I'm liking. Maybe Nunes by TKO. I think it's not a bad bet. I think you could get some fairly half-decent odds for that. Zaleski dos Santos is another one I'm kind of looking at, but doesn't really tempt me all that much. So, and Cesar Ferreira, I think he's an underdog actually. So I think as an underdog player, it's not a bad bet to make either.
Because you said you're looking at the underdogs, aren't you? This year, that's your kind of thing for now. So that would be something you might be tempted to. So what about parlays, my friend? You talk about your parlays. Is there any on this card you would think about? Maybe like a Mackenzie Dern sub, and maybe someone else with a sub, like Jacare or something random like that. Yeah,
maybe like I bet Mackenzie Dern last time out, and it was actually when I sit back and look at it, I bet Mackenzie Dern and John Dodson in a parlay, and it was a really bad bet. It cashed, it won, but it was a sweaty bet that I realised, like, I'm never betting Mackenzie Dern ever again, really, until she makes those improvements I think she might make. I think some of the underdogs are interesting. So, like, I have seen
Ferreira's plus 120. It looks like here. Inca's plus 120 as well.
So, I don't know.
Strickland's plus 100.
Yeah, you could maybe put Jacare and maybe like a Davy Ramos, who I think will win, and you might get some decent money on that. But I think it's like for me, it looks like a straight picks card, or a few props with like KOs or submissions locked in there as well. But for me, I think I'm going to go with straight picks for this card.
Okay, nice. I like it. Okay, and then last but not least, we have your questions, ladies and gents. We had our boy Adam Sean 292 Twitter handle throws some questions. Here we go, folks. It's a good question, though, Will. This one, with this man injured. Okay, who would? Actually, we'll answer this one first. Would you bring back Horiguchi into the UFC. Well, the UFC let the contract run out, didn't bother renewing it. He's kicking butt and risen. He was a top 5 talent anyway in the UFC. If you are the UFC, would you try to just get him back in? Because everyone's talking about him and DJ rematch would be insane.
Yeah, I think the UFC would like him back, but I think that, to be honest with you, I think Horiguchi made the absolutely right move by leaving the UFC and going back to Japan, because the guy is turning himself into an absolute superstar out there with his performances. And he's the really interesting thing for me is that he's doing it at 135. And I'm thinking, if he was to come back to the UFC, I still think Demetrius Johnson beats him because he did it comprehensively. But could you imagine Horiguchi in the 135-pound division with the fights you can make with that guy?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
I think he would. Would he be a top 5 guy in that division? I think he would, but I think it'd be close because there's really good fighters in that division. So, to me, he's the clear number 2 flyweight in the world. And that shows you how good Demetrius Johnson is, because he pretty much schooled him in that fight. Interesting to see the rematch. But if I was the UFC, I would absolutely have him back. But I guarantee he's making a shit ton of money over in Japan that the UFC is not even thinking about that. I'm sure we'll probably see him in the UFC in the future again, but he's a really fun guy to watch. Hopefully one day, because he's still a young guy with a lot of talent, but I think he's going to be fighting in Japan for a long time to come still.
I think he resonates well in Japan because obviously language is a huge barrier. His English wasn't there, so the UFC couldn't promote him in a way they would want to. Like with Mackenzie Dern, she's bilingual, so they can promote her from a US perspective as well as down in Brazil. And then you've got Horiguchi, who can't resonate with it. He can't connect with like say for example, like if we're just you and I were just casual fans, he couldn't resonate with casual fans. You don't understand him. You can't understand what he says.
I think the hardcore fans absolutely love him, but they
do absolutely. Yeah.
Fans, he's hard to connect with, but the people like you, me, and the other fans that are on social network that watch the sport all the time, he's a fighter stream to watch. He's a fan stream to watch. Sorry.
I was made up meeting him in Belfast. I was over the moon. I was like, horror motherfucking Gucci. He's such a nice guy, such a cool dude. And then next question is, who would you match with Magny in Liverpool? I want Masvidal because Masvidal's just a badass motherfucker, and I'd be cool to meet Masvidal more than anything being selfish. But that's who I'd have.
I like the Cowboy.
You could have a 155er in there, like a heavy 155er, because you got Gilbert Burns who was calling him out as well. He wants to.
I think if I could have a choice, I think it would either be Masvidal. I don't think Magny wants anything to do with Masvidal, so I would like to see Cowboy Oliveira because I think he's a fun guy to watch, and I think he's got a lot of talent. And I think he could beat a lot of guys. I think it'd be an interesting matchup because Magny, I don't think he shines in any area, but he's a tough guy.
It's those long arms, man. He's got crazy reach. It just throws people off.
That guy's made some serious improvements since his Ultimate Fighter days, like really big improvements.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because we're 3 weeks?
Yeah.
To the event, and there's been nothing yet, and Gunny's been out for
2, maybe, is it?
Maybe, or 2. It could be. I would
not be shocked if they've already got someone and they've just not said it. They maybe just waiting for the medicals to come back and then they can announce it.
Yeah, just talking about UFC Liverpool, I am gutted that David Tamer got pulled off that card.
What is that about?
Because
why?
His opponent fell out with Nick Lentz's opponent falling out, and then they moved him to the card after.
Week after, isn't it?
Yeah, the week after, where David Tamer's brother's fighting on there, which makes more sense, I suppose. But when I heard that fight got moved off UFC Liverpool, I was
fuming.
Big fan of Tamer. Big fan of both brothers actually, but I hope he can pull in somebody. I think Masvidal would be a lot of fun. Masvidal, the guy I've watched live, mate, really cool cat, and always comes to put on he doesn't want to go to the ground. He wants to stand up and throw big.
He's legit on the ground. Well, that's the thing. Like Masvidal's really good on the ground. He just doesn't want to go there. Like it's crazy.
Guys in the whole entire UFC, he always has been one of those guys. If they could get Masvidal, I'd be happy with that personally.
Yeah, I like that. I'm not saying I'm not interested in the guys, but that's just a name that I'm just like, you've got to make that happen. You've got to have him fight it. Like he wants it, so give it. You know, just like what more does the UFC sometimes want? Someone's injured, and then like you had Gilbert Burns, you had Masvidal, both sitting there going, "I'll take it." That's what you want. That's what you save us doing the legwork. There you go, guys. Happy days. That's it.
You actually mentioned 155 as I was thinking, like, who could step up from there? Tysonov move up and face maybe Magny or that's like when I sit back, I think UFC Liverpool's a really solid card. I think it's okay, but I think it had aspects where they could have made it better. I think Tamer obviously was supposed to be on there, but Tysonov was a guy that once that fight was in New York, put him in London, just get him a fight.
Yeah.
He's sitting out again, and that's just utter shit. So
he could easily be one of the best guys in the division, and you just sit there wasting him.
Yeah. So I think both of us are probably going to go with Masvidal if we could.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And that's all it is. The other question, not really that keen on answering it, to be honest with you. It's a bit, it's just wrong. Just Adam is just wrong. I think Chris got hold of his Twitter account when he wrote that. And that's the podcast for this week. Again, thank you for listening. Again, great having all you guys subscribing and girls, and your interactions, your messages mean a lot. So thank you all, and we'll be back next week because there's abundance of fight cards coming up. Will, any last words?
No, just we'll be back next week. I think it's Maya and Usman. Looking forward to seeing Usman. I think he's the most dodged guy.
Yeah.
Probably the UFC at the minute, it seems to be, from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing. And then we're in Liverpool the week after. So if you're going to be there, let us know. Come and say hi. We'll be around majority of the week. And we might be doing a couple of things down there. It wouldn't surprise me if we did some things down in Liverpool. So, but if you see us, definitely come and say hi. We'll be knocking about. You'll not miss us pretty much. So until next week, take care. Enjoy UFC 224, and we'll be back for UFC Chile next week.